Hi, I'm Judith Leblein, and welcome to Conversations. Today, my guest might be familiar to you if you have visited the East Brunswick Library over the last 30-plus years. Her name is Sharon Karmazin, retired as director of the library here in East Brunswick. Welcome home, Sharon.
Thank you. It's been 5 years since my retirement.
Unbelievable. Well, it suits you because you look fabulous. No regrets about retirement?
Oh, none whatsoever. It's been great ever since.
Well,
I loved it here, and I'm really loving my life.
Well, you know, talking about somebody that has pursued their passion, anyone that knows you as I have knows that you've always been a great patron of the arts, just absolutely love the theater. And now you're Sharon Karmazin, producer. How exciting. How did this happen? Sharon, you are producing right now 3 hits on Broadway.
Well, I have to give full credit to my volunteer activities locally here in Middlesex County, because it was really through my involvement on the board of George Street Playhouse in New Brunswick that I got involved with commercial producing in New York. Back in 1999, we had a show at George Street called Down the Garden Paths, written by Ann Mira, and it starred Eli Wallach and Ann Jackson. It did very, very well in New Brunswick, and they decided to move it off Broadway, and I became one of the producers. And that was producing 101. You know, it was a totally new education for me, and I met some wonderful people. And I think the way you get involved is you meet people, and one person leads to another, and one project leads to the next.
If you look back as a kid growing up, is this the wildest dream? I mean, is it amazing, or did you always have this kind of love?
Well, I always had this kind of love. And what's interesting is just recently, my high school yearbook got pulled out, and one of the things it said was aspiring theater critic.
Oh, look at that.
I'm on the other side of the fence, but nevertheless, you know, a little bit of a dream came true.
Well, let's talk about the 3 shows now that you can currently see in New York. I have been lucky to see one of them, and I plan on seeing the other 2. And 3 at one time is absolutely amazing. Let's start off Broadway with a show that I saw called Altar Boys. Where did this show come from, and how's it doing?
Well, it's an interesting story. Altar Boys came from a production that was done last fall at the New York Musical Theater Festival, which was the first edition of something that will continue every year in the fall. It was a showcase for more than 20 aspiring musical productions, and this one was the best reviewed of the crop, and a group of people who were developing it decided to move it off Broadway to Dodger Stages, which is a new complex of 5 theaters.
Great
well, you
theater.
saw it, so you know.
The venue, the sound, if you have a chance to go there, it's fantastic.
And it really has clicked. It's a wonderful show with great choreography and wonderful songs, and it's just plain fun.
Well, it's a very quirky premise. It combines the boy groups, you know, the NSYNCs of the world, with some, would you call it religious or spiritual overtones? How do you describe this crazy show?
They are a born-again Christian boy band that's having a sort of a mock concert. And through the concert, which is the show, you get to learn the story of the origins of the Altar Boys. And of course, each one of them is very different. You know, there's one who's Hispanic, and one who's like a boy from the hood, and one who's gay, and one who's just the gorgeous, handsome guy, and one who's Jewish.
Hello, New York. Hello, New York. Do you know who's in the house? Who? God's in the house. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Everybody make some noise. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Everybody singing amazing. Everybody singing amazing. Time to get down to business. Introductions. Matthew. Mark. Luke. Juan. Abraham. people think we're really kind of odd when we sing about how we love the Lamb of God. Yeah, they like to fight, they heckle and dispute us, but we don't care. Even if they persecute us. Even if they persecute us. We are the altar boys. We know that God is where it's at. We are the altar boys.
Because we think he's real fat.
We are the altar boys. You know we don't get no complaints. We are the altar boys. And we can't even make the saints. We are the altar boys. We think that church is super fine. We are the altar boys.
We love the wafers and wine.
We are the altar boys. And I think you'll find we're gonna alter your mind.
It's very funny.
It's very funny.
And very engaging. The boys are adorable. So the interest age group that it spans is from teenage all the way up to adults of every age, mothers, fathers, grandmothers, grandfathers, and it's been extremely well received. In fact, I just heard today that we were nominated for 4 Lucille Lortel Awards. That signals the beginning of the theater award season.
Well, I'll tell you, it's when I was asked following the show, what was it like? Describe the show. I called it Rent-esque because of the driving, good, popular. I don't know how to term it, but this music is hot. This music is pop. This music appeals to everyone that was in that audience, and as you said, plays to all ages. We took our teenage boys to see the show. They laughed when they should laugh. They were touched. There are some, very touching moments, I think, revealing moments about some of the boys in the band and some of their feelings. And then at points there were slight bits of a little bit irreverence, perhaps, where they looked at us and like, can we laugh? And we said, yeah, you can laugh. It's okay. Because it questions religion, and it looks at religion.
Sweet. It's in the end, it's not an anti-religious show at all.
It's not.
It's really actually a very sweet show.
Well, the funny thing is you're in the audience and they're trying to save souls, and they have sort of the a la Jerry Lewis telethon, the numbers, and they're trying to save the souls.
Sensor.
So throughout the course of the show, you're looking around going, am I being saved? Or how about that guy? Maybe he's not being saved. But certainly a great show, and congratulations on the awards. It's a challenging show because it makes you not only laugh but think. And I found that, and I'm going to tell you, everybody around us was laughing. It was a very interesting crowd.
And that's true every night. I get the reports on email every single night, and the crowds are loving it, loving it. And we even had a group from a Catholic boys' school.
I would
on
love
Sunday.
to be with
That would
them.
have been fun to be there. I was thinking the same
And their
thing.
reaction?
Loved it.
Loved it.
Loved it. Loved it. Everybody really likes it. It's so much fun. Great, great choreography.
God put the rhythm in me. God put the rhythm in me. God put the rhythm in me. God put the rhythm in me.
Put it in me.
God put the rhythm in me. God put the rhythm in me. God put the rhythm in me. God put the rhythm in me.
Put it.
God put the rhythm in me. God put the rhythm in me. God put the rhythm in me. God put the rhythm in me.
Let me tell you.
God put it in me, and that's where it's gonna stay. Yeah. God put it in me, and that's where it's gonna stay.
Now, great reviews coming in for the next show, Dirty, Rotten Scoundrels. How exciting. Tell us who's in it.
Well, It stars, we have an all-star cast.
You sure do.
Starring John Lithgow, who's probably the best known to people who might not know Broadway stars, but also Norbert Leo Butz, who just came from Wicked, and that's obviously a very popular show, and many of the people who've seen that know Norbert. And Norbert is really the breakout. I think Norbert is the one who has gotten the most incredible reviews, because John is kind of the anchor, but Norbert was the big surprise.
I want a mansion with a moat, around which I will float, with some vast bottom babies in my glass bottom boat. A house in the Bahamas, paisley silk pajamas, poker with Al Roker and our friend Lorenzo Lamas. Give me great big stuff. I really do deserve it. Great big stuff. With servants who will serve it. Great big stuff. I don't give a damn what it's firm. Every day's my birthday, every night is my bar mitzvah. Hey, hey, hey! Oh, give me a home where the centerfolds roam. Guccione on the phone, he got a party going on. And Hef will have me over to play some naked twister. Blotto in the grotto with a playmate and her sister. Rap stars will love me. Great big stuff. Give me a posse, I eat. Great big stuff. Chillin' in the city, sitting pretty in the caddy with P. Daddy or Puff Diddy or whatever. I'll change my name too. Get my hatchback all pimped out.
His name up until now does not roll off the tongue, but it will in the future, even being Butz. Also Sherry Renee Scott, who was in Aida and was in the last 5 years with Norbert too, and Greg Jabara and Joanna Gleason, who's a former Tony Award winner. And
now people may be familiar with the film, and which
Absolutely.
was also a big hit. But now Dirty Rotten Scoundrels on Broadway, and one of the reviews I read said, finally back to Broadway, laugh out loud, real comedy.
And that is not an exaggeration. I mean, fall out of your seat hysterical. I mean, it's so funny. That's really what got me involved, because we went to a reading last April, and it's directed by Jack O'Brien, who did Hairspray, and choreography by Jerry Mitchell, and the music and lyrics by David Yazbek, who did the Full Monty. So there's really a highly credentialed group of people there, and we just, I mean, in a rehearsal hall, heard them sing the songs and go through their antics, and I was really sold on it. And it's been through a huge development process. It really had a tremendous amount of time to gestate and be developed. It was out at the Old Globe in San Diego for a sold-out extended run in the fall, and then came into New York January 31st with an opening on March 3rd. It's been very exciting. We just recorded our original cast album, and in fact there's going to be, I should say CD, they're planning a big giveaway very shortly for people who buy tickets to get the CD, because the music is so fabulous.
And Jonathan Lithgow, and some people may only know him from TV, and this is their opportunity to see a master at work. He is no stranger to Broadway. But I would imagine for a director it's hard to corral that guy.
He is the hardest worker. He is the best team player. He's energetic. He makes everybody else rise to his level. He's a great actor.
He's the definitive song and dance man,
He's
isn't
wonderful.
he?
He's just marvelous. He really is.
So many people know him for his comedy portrayals, but to really see him in action singing and dancing.
And if you see his facial expressions, he is just priceless.
Every royal family, by its nature, has a sort of price that it must pay. Every noble lineage has one loose gene, small as a molecule, flitting around the family pool. It's the sort of thing one sees in Appalachia, or in the odd inbred Bichon friseur. It really can be such a nasty stain on the escutcheon when a wisp of DNA begins to fray, then goes astray. Caligula had the temper, the Habsburgs had the chin, George III went cuckoo bird, and Nero had that violin. Richard, you'll remember, had the hump and the withered limb. The bushes of Tex were nervous wrecks because their sun was dim. But look what happened to him.
And then there's Norbert. I mean, I can't say enough. Wait till you see him. He plays the Steve Martin part. You know, if you know anything about the story, it's about two guys who are both grifters, who both try to cheat women out of money, who encounter each other on the French Riviera. And one is the erudite, cultured, highbrow, and the other is like scum. And, they have a little back and forth. And then there's a challenge to see who can take advantage of a woman first, the same woman first. And this is what the plot turns on. And they play against each other. It's a little bit bawdy. It's a little bit, the humor. It's interesting because generally in the theater, women buy the tickets, and men get dragged.
Right.
But this is a show that women and men both love. And I know I met a friend recently who came in from North Carolina and saw it with her daughter, and she said she's coming back in May and she's bringing her husband. They're going to see it again. We're beginning to see repeat business.
Well,
from people.
I think that's very important to the success of a show as well, because to come back again will be the man's choice at that point. You may be dragged one time, but to come back again is going to be the man's decision. Now, the hat trick of Broadway, 3 hits in a row, Steel Magnolias. Whenever I've told anyone that you're involved now with producing Steel Magnolias on Broadway, they say, I love that story. Is that why you got involved?
That's what they tell me too. It's so interesting. And I did. Most people don't know this, but Steel Magnolias has never been on Broadway. First of all, some people don't realize that it was a play before it was a movie.
I did not.
But it was.
I'm most familiar with the movie.
It was a play that was produced off Broadway in 1987. And I just found a playbill very recently, totally by coincidence, of my own that I had seen it in 1989, because it ran for 3 years off Broadway, over 1,000 performances, and then was made into a very, very successful movie. And most people know the movie, and it's a very dear movie to a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
Women really relate to it. They are mothers, they are daughters, they are friends, they are people who go to their own favorite beauty shop and have their own precious beautician, and they relate to the story very, very strongly. And it is based on a true story. The playwright Robert Harling wrote the story of his sister and his mother.
There's only a handful of stories or films like that get passed down to generations. So what I think you're going to be seeing in the theater with Steel Magnolias are multiple generations of women predominantly going to see this film that Mom told me about, or my aunt was crazy about.
Absolutely. The interesting thing about it is when I first heard about the casting, the names that meant something to me were Frances Sternhagen, Delta Burke, Marcia Mason. But then when I heard Rebecca Gayheart, I said, gee, I don't know her. And they said, well, she's a young actress. But when I said to my 29-year-old son, Rebecca Gayheart, he went, wow, Rebecca Gayheart, the Noxema girl. She's so beautiful. She's, and she was on Dead Like Me on Showtime. So it really is an intergenerational cast, with some very seasoned, popular actors like Frances and Delta, but also Rebecca Gayheart and a newcomer, Lily Rabe.
This is the most successful shop in town. You want to know why? Why? Because I have a strict philosophy that I've stuck to for the past 15 years. There's no such thing as natural beauty. That is why I have never lost a customer to the cut and curl or the beauty box. Remember, my ladies get only the best. Do not scrimp on anything. Feel free to use as much hairspray as you want. That goes over here. I'll just shove this to one side. There you go. Okay. Manicure station here.
There's no such thing as natural beauty.
Remember that or we are all out of a job. Just look at me, Annelle. It takes some effort to look like this.
I can see that.
There's my girl. I guess you're the happy ones this morning.
Yes, I am. First state championship in 8 years.
You sound awful, Miss Clary.
Hello, darling.
Can I get you some tea?
Yes, that would be nice. I'm sorry I'm late. I overslept. We didn't get back into town until 1 o'clock. It was a dazzling victory over dry prawns.
I heard you on the radio last night. You were wonderful.
What were you doing on the radio?
They let me be the color announcer for the Devils. I was fabulous. I was too colorful for words.
Well, that was nice of them to let you talk on the radio.
Nice nothing. I own the radio station.
Oh, you bought it!
Yes, KPPD, the station of choice in Chinkapin Parish.
Well, Shelby, what do you think of Clarice's new short and sassy do?
I love it.
Yeah, just wait till I jack it up.
It makes you look younger, Miss Clary.
My hair looks younger, my face looks just as old.
If you're just joining me, with me today is Sharon Karmazin. You may have known Sharon through her work here at the East Brunswick Library, but now producer. And with 3 hits on Broadway, Altar Boys off Broadway, Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, and Steel Magnolias. Now, Sharon, tell me about the process of bringing a show to Broadway today, because I don't think most people understand what it takes to just get the door open on opening night.
I think the story is different for every single show because you have straight plays, you have musicals, you have revivals, and within the revival category you have straight plays and you have musicals, both. And I think for every show it's really a different route. It's very hard to generalize. You may have existing scripts, you may have people who have ideas that are totally brand new, and they may take years and years to develop. I went to a reading of a show a couple of years ago. The man said to us he's been working on it for 14 years.
My God.
14 years, and it still has not gotten to Broadway. It was done in Boston. It was done, a couple of other places out of town. There have been readings, but it's a very long, hard road that involves creative development and money raising.
Money, which over the years has been, most recent years, has been one of the problems, with Broadway and hits. Things need to be hits and faster, and there's less patience because the meter is running. Mm-hmm. Tell me about your role as producer. What are some of the things that you do as the producer, for example, of Steel Magnolias?
Well, I am not a managing partner. Each of the shows that I'm involved with has a managing partner, because when I retired, I decided that wasn't a role I wanted. If I were to do that, I would need to be working in a much more concentrated way every single day. But what I do is I'm involved with, for instance, raising money. Mm-hmm. Getting people who are interested in investing in the show, speaking to people about the show, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Also, in decision making, basically creative decision making is made by the director once the director is hired, and that's often done before I'm involved by the managing partners. But the director and the casting agent are dealing with the talent, the people who are hired in that area. But the area that we get much more involved with, other producers, involves advertising, marketing, ticket prices, promotion, group sales, anything involving sales, at, a newspaper, TV, or you're going to do commercials, those kinds of things we're involved with.
Well, Broadway has had some real up cycles and some down cycles, and certainly, the terrible attack on America on September 11th, could have posed a very serious threat. But we see a vibrant but a different Broadway. We're seeing a lot of revivals. We're seeing some old concepts being brought back and retooled. What's some of your thinking about Broadway and what we're going to be seeing. Are we going to be seeing more of these, revisiting hits? Is it too hard to have a brand new piece on Broadway?
I think
some
it's
of your
very,
observations.
I think it's very hard. I think that what you have been seeing and probably will continue to see are properties that are developed elsewhere, either in regional theaters outside of New York or regional theaters in New York, and or I should say nonprofits in New York, because sometimes a producer will come in and enhance a production. They will contribute some money to a nonprofit theater that enables them to do the show out of town, and then if it's successful and they feel they can raise the money and that there's going to be an audience for it, to then bring it into town. That's one way things go. Things come from London. You're going to be seeing you can see right now Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. You're going to be able to see Mary Poppins. You can be able to see The Woman in White. And those are all shows that have come from hit runs in London, and there's a lot of cross-pollination there. I just saw Tova Felsha the other night, and she told me that Golda's Balcony is going to London. So there's a show that we're going to export.
Well, there's another theme that just came out in the litany of new shows, and that's bringing in the young families and introducing kids to Broadway. Do you feel that is the future of Broadway, getting kids in, excited at an early age to be a supporter of the arts later?
Well, of course, what you're talking about is, in a way, the Disneyfication of Broadway. Disney has their stronghold, their foothold with Beauty and the Beast, Aida, The Lion King, and they're going to continue to bring shows in. And I think that these other shows, whether they are Disney shows or not Disney shows, really are, once you have a Mamma Mia, then you have a spate of what they're now calling jukebox musicals. It's, the same as movies, the same as any form of entertainment. I think TV, if somebody has a successful police drama, then you're going to see a spate of police dramas, or comedy shows, half-hour situation comedies. And I think, this is what you're seeing. It started with Mamma Mia, but then, you have the Billy Joel show.
And these are shows that people often go back. I've seen Mamma Mia 3 times with 3 different groups of friends, and each time the experience was new.
Well, I think everyone hopes that their jukebox show is going to be the next Mamma Mia, because no one has done it quite the way they have and made the billions that they have made from it worldwide.
Well, Sharon, we don't have nearly enough time to explore even more with you. What an exciting time for you. The shows are Altar Boys, currently running off Broadway, nominated now for several awards. Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, hot ticket
at the Imperial Theater.
Okay. And Steel Magnolias just opened, sure to have a great run. People can get tickets at any of their favorite ticket outlets, whether online or or go right to the box office and get in now on some of these, because they're already very hot tickets to get. Sharon, we thank you for joining us. We could talk forever about Broadway, but what about you on Broadway? Is that the next fashion?
Don't hold your breath. Don't hold your breath on that one.
And can you trace back again, going back and you looked at your yearbook and it said theater critic. What do you think created this love of theater for you, Sharon?
Oh, for me it was what you talked about just a couple minutes ago. For my 8th birthday, I was taken by my parents to see The King and I with Yul Brynner in New York.
My favorite.
And every year after that, I can name you all the shows I saw every year on my birthday, and then it became more frequent, and now it's almost every night when I'm home. So I think it's a wonderful thing to do with children. I do encourage parents always to take kids to the theater, because they watch a lot of television, but seeing it live, I think there's nothing like it.
And as a parent and aunt, someone that brings along a child to theater, not only watch the show, but watch their face, because what happens is just magical. Sharon Karmazin, thank you so much.
Oh, it's been a pleasure.
Good luck with the shows.
Thank you.
And a terrific career for you as a producer. And as always, there's nothing like a good conversation. Thanks for joining me.